Hello everyone, welcome back. Heck, this is episode 6 or 7 of What If Izuku Midoriya was, King of the Locusts. So, last time we left off, he ended up scavenging around Griffin's tower, finding old music that got his gears a-turning, as well as a locked basement door. After breaking that open, he found a fucking horrid sight to, well, how do I explain this? He found basically people that have died of starvation and thirst, and found what he could only probably think of as a slave girl. So he then proceeded to, as she was unconscious, fucking cut her loose, pick her up, and take her back home. Why? Because no matter what, this, Izuku was taught kindness got kindness. And since he's going off a different route that most people just aren't doing, well, that his people has not done before, really, it would be interesting. So, yeah, we're gonna speed up and let's get this on the road, shall we? So, when we come back, it is basically to Izuku showing Cammy around, right? And just asking blanket questions on who might have done this. She heard names, which made Izuku just kind of confused. One of them was Gesh, or Gash to be more precise, most likely. The other two was Frank and John. There were 3 people. Basically slavers trying to get at her. We already know slavery is slavery, but since Izuku kinda has the robot workforce, he's kinda like, locusts don't do that shit anymore. So, granted, there are still some worker castes, but essentially there's mainly only warrior caste people now, right? Which is intensive in their own right, because Izuku, who already has a lot of people that knows how to shoot you, but not only that, he has corpses and brumaks. Those things are gonna be fucking there if they're ever on a battlefield. And if anyone has played Gears of War 2, you know that, fucking corpsers, basically their babies, could hurt a lot. And the blatant fact that Izuku's, it's been a couple years, they have a lot of corpsers. Not all of them being as big as Mama Corpser, or Theseus, but could be weirder and could be worse. So, one moment. So, when Izuku's basically looking around and she's telling him names and faces. Like I said last time, Izuku, like, knows that he's kinda also trying to slide in into her personal life. I've been trying to have a relationship because, to be honest, he's come to realize, yeah, no, I think having people, like a human, involved in my life should be fun. Right? Like, because I've come to realize that talking with locusts is way different than talking with humans. Like, shit hits different. But he realizes that after him basically still going on his little scav runs and watching that place, he sees 2 of the 3 people. And I should describe what royal guard he brings, because Izuku doesn't really need extreme amounts of, like, royal guard, because people know how proficient he is. So, I want you to imagine wretches with armor, right? And I mean, like, because from what I could tell, wretches are basically fucking monkeys with armor, right? It's not that hard of a thing to think about. And the thing that I find funny, personally, is that what if you put, like, a wretch in actual combat armor? That would be interesting. That would be cost effective, to be perfectly honest. Because if you have played Gears of War, and you have like 6 wretches coming at you, usually you pulled out the shotgun, right? Go to. And in the games, when you're getting chainsaw kills and like executions and shit, you have invincibility frames. That's not how it works in real life. But if you basically give wretches like armored claws and shit, the wretches could beat the shit out of people. Like 4 or 5 wretches could kill people. Pretty easy, right? Izuku has a group of like 20 wretches. Like 20 extremely well-trained wretches. They aren't intelligent, because that's not what wretches are. They're meant to be fodder units like the grunts in Halo, but, you know, not as shit. They don't know what flee means, but when Izuku goes out with these wretches are trained in stealth. Meaning, I want you to imagine like urban Viet Cong. Like, that's what they are, essentially. Because Izuku gives them guns and shit. Which, I know, like, some wretches, like most creatures, everything has a different wavelength of intelligence. Sometimes you could have a really smart chimp that could fire a gun proficiently. Or you could have a chimp that knows how to sneak extremely well. Izuku basically combined the two and gave them like a guerrilla warfare journal. Like, Izuku made wretch Vietnamese. Welcome to the rice fields, bitch. Anyway. But, he just kind of follows them. Right? He wants to know where their base of operations is. And then they enter the fucking tower, which he would then go into. And the wretches would sneak in through the things that they have made to get into the tower, i.e. small tunnels. And the wretches are basically just fucking sneaking around. Ninja wretches with shotguns. And let me fuck your day up cannons. Just fucking there. But, Izuku basically follows them all the way until he gets to, like, an elevator which would take people up to the Noble District. So, he would go up with them as well, because he is allowed in the Noble District. Which, when they see Izuku, no one really knows who the fuck Izuku is. He just came in and was allowed up top. Like, there are things that are being said, like, oh, he's Griffin's daughter's fuck buddy. Like, and people that know Griffin's daughter, she doesn't like him at all. So that's false. She's like, I see Griffin enjoys men and as well as women. And it's like, no. People who know Griffin, no. I guess he's just a traitor then. And I was like, yeah, probably. But everyone wants shit to be spicy. Shit gets boring here, right? But Izuku, during his time, he's just soaking it in. So, after they would leave the elevator, he would shortly follow and just disappear almost from their sight. Through these small, all crowds of people hustling and bustling. They wouldn't even really pay attention to him either, because he has made regular visits to the tower. And Izuku has been following them all the way until they get into a fairly rich area of the tower, right? This is the inner rung people. People that have their personal elevators and shit, right? So, they seemingly split. Both of them going onto elevators, different ones. One moment. They would go up to two houses, right? Because it would split off. Frank and John, those two, would go into the quadrants controlled by a man, Mr. Angelos, and a woman named Mrs. Carr. Both of those people are fairly high up, right? And Izuku realized that, and he's like, huh, okay, they want to play this game with me? Okay, fuck them. And what he does is sneak in fairly undetected and just begins recording conversations. Right? And then he learns, like, the deeper context of a slave operation that would go on. People that owe them debt, that would either be killed by Gash, John, and Frank, or be turned to slaves. Now, the person who wanted Cammy was Miss Carr. when John entered Miss Carr's building, and Izuku was there behind him, and Carr and John began to have a conversation. Izuku recorded every second of it. And the conversation would go a little bit something like this. So, is she still not budging? We have a problem. What? She escaped? Miss Carr, whatever she was doing there, stopped. What do you mean she escaped? You told me that she was emaciated and broken. How is she even alive? We've kept her down there with very minimal stuff for almost 2 months. Explain to me, how did some emaciated woman break fucking cuffs? The explanation of that, ma'am, is we believe that there was a third-party intervention. People that we don't know about. We have to find her. And we have to silence her. What do you... Oh. This has became a... And he gets a slap really hard across his face. And Miss Carr says, Johnson Abernathy. You do not interrupt me, you little shit. It's like, okay. I'm sorry, Mom. Alright. You will fucking do everything to find that woman. Because if she is not found, everything we have done is worthless. Do you understand me? Every little fucking bit. Do you know how many fucking people that I have posing as fucking security contractors that I have in my pocket? How do you think you've been being able to eat, boy? How do you think you've been able to drink? Many times do you think you've been able to go to that fucking brothel that you and Gash go to? You fucking pigs. Enough with this petty bullshit. I must go bathe. Get Frank and get Gash, and you will not come back to this fucking city until this is dealt with. Are we understood? Yes, Mother. Good. Now get the fuck out of my office. John would nod, kind of run out of the room, holding his face like, fucking bitch. He wouldn't be saying that, but you get the sense. And Izuku just smiles. Oh. Let us see the other. During this time frame, he realizes that he lives with this man. This high-end little shit. It turns out both of these people are slumming it, doing work for their parents. And Izuku figures out where that brothel is. He finds that interesting. And he goes to the red light district, covering up his face because blatantly he does not want to be seen here. Fucking playing with hookers and hounds. No, that's not that's not what he's meant to do. Oop. He's gonna go find Gash. Turns out Gash, during this time frame, has been laying with a woman that he has fancied. A woman by the name of Christina. And Izuku just watches as Gash basically gets let into her apartment. Over about a week of this, he would learn that she is married. And Izuku just smiles. Oh, this is perfect. They all got their own little problem. Oh, these poor motherfuckers. Just a smile would fucking bend on Izuku's face. Coming back after his little scouting mission, he would, all in all, be quite happy with himself. He found all 3 of them the fucking first day, and he's fucking elated with himself. He believes truly that God is on his side, because that should have been much more difficult than it should have been. So, what he plans to do? Oh, simple. First, he must speak to Cammy. Cammy's still in the, how do I say this, recovery stages of such a vicious cycle of malnutrition. She isn't walking with a limp or anything, but like she's still getting used to standing up because she could not beforehand. And Izuku basically over dinner would basically tell her and show her all of his findings. And she says flat out, I want to make these people suffer. And as soon as he hears that, he's like, he's elated with himself that he got a fucking catch. Because he was praying to God this wasn't going to be a nice girl. Because regardless of the fact he was going to have to do something to them, not only as a power play, but only to show something as to Griffin to say, hey, do your fucking job. Make sure your police and shit aren't being mauled. So, not long after that, Cammy basically gets a live stream footage, which, like, it's basically when she's getting a goddamn mani-pedi in the locost base. Like, Izuku basically has her being weighed on hand and foot, which was, like, weird at first, but she likes it. Because she was kind of born into debt type of shit, so it didn't really matter to them, you know what I'm saying? But the most interesting thing, right, about this entire scenario, this is also a thing for her too. This is to see if, like, she could handle Izuku's vindictive nature, like, when he's going to kill people. Which, like, after like him getting into the city. And this time he's actually by himself. Because this was an order. Order for everyone to stay back so they didn't fuck this up. This is personal. Like, they're kind of like Loki already, kind of on the roads to a relationship status already. This is one of those make or break moments. And what Izuku does is, first off, he would go to Miss Carr's manor. Every single person in that manor is dead. And I'm talking corpses. Fucking splattered all over the wall. And she's basically like watching this like, oh shit. Like Itachi Uchiha massacring the fucking clan. Like, that's what this is. This is him running through this bitch. Quiet as a damn church mouse, just killing everybody. Right? And then he gets to like Miss Carr's manor. Like the actual room. Because all of her equipment to like call for assistance, Izuku basically cut her lines and shit. So this entire time she's been trying to call her contacts and like the people across the street, and they can't hear shit. Because she basically has an entire floor to herself. That's basically what one of the perks of being this high end is. You get an entire fucking floor as your manor. Like, and what he finds funny is she tried to pull a gun on him and it fucking jammed. And what he proceeded to do is knock her unconscious, throw her over his shoulder, and just let's get to moving. What he would then do is make it look like what he's doing is making it look like she's going off, like she went on a rampage in her own goddamn thing. She's trying to make her look fucking crazy. Like, and have fun getting rid of all of the fucking bodies. Right? Because Izuku was indiscriminate. Didn't matter if you were guard, fucking didn't matter. Family, friend that just came for dinner, nah, he cut their fucking shit up. And that was just the first manor. He then goes to one floor below, proceeds to do the same thing, but this time knock everyone unconscious. Basically get like everyone in there in compromising photos, so blackmail. So Izuku is basically setting up the blackmail system. Like, that's what he's doing. He basically staged it up there to not only look like she did it, but she had help. So, remember what I said, he knocked people out in the other guy's house. I forgot his name. I think I said Kursk. The Kursk manor, I believe. Which was a manor literally right under hers. So, during that, it was just, Izuku made it seem like there were a lot more people than there were. That just wiped the fucking floor with these people. And just made it look like, essentially, like, blackmail. Like, this is all meant to be basically blackmail material. And once he, like, actually gets down off the elevator, he begins going to the red light district. If you know Afro Samurai, you know what the fuck's about to happen. So, like, Izuku, during this time frame, right, goes all the way around the red light district, finds the three of them, and it turns out that married woman oh yeah, no, there was 3-on-1, let's just say that. But regardless, Izuku's gonna make this, he's gonna enjoy this. So, what he does is basically, like, tell her husband that, which at this point is a fairly high-ranking, let's just say gang leader, and let's put that off, right? And he's like, yo, someone's fucking your wife. It's like, what? Yeah, no, look at this. And he basically shows pictures. There's of the three people. And it's like, oh. Alright, are you gonna kill him for me? Because this is usually how this work kind of goes. And he's like, I don't know, man. You could do whatever you want. I just gave you information. However, if you want them to feel pain before they die, I could do it. Oh no, I'm telling you to kill all of them. Even your wife? Yep. Okay. Like, Izuku wasn't expecting it to be this easy. Like, he has figured out the fucking duality of man in this moment. How fucking much hypocrisy is just laden within this. So, when Izuku basically gets the keys to the house, sneakily well, doesn't do it sneakily because the husband wanted to see it. He wanted to see all of these people dead. Like, so, as this was going on, essentially the gang building that his wife and shit was set up in, there was just a fuck ton of people just now in the building, because it's more like an apartment complex, right? Like, the apartment complex is now at capacity, filled with gangers that know what's about to happen. And since this is like gang territory, no one's gonna expect, like, cops and shit to roll up. Especially this deep in their turf. Like, they ain't gonna do shit. So, when the husband and Izuku basically just walk in and on this fucking, and just some shit that I'm not allowed to say on YouTube, he just kind of looks at it and it's like, I fucking knew you were cheating. Deal with him. And what he does is fucking walks over to the fridge And in this moment, Izuku just starts beating the shit out of people. He's not using the axes yet. And since, like, it was so fucking weird because Izuku uses, like, knives and shit to stab people, like, in their legs and shit, make sure they don't hit any arteries, but Izuku's not making sure they don't have a good time. They are in pain, more importantly. And during this little abstract fucking art piece of 3 dudes, 1 chick, got the fucking shit beat out of them. Blood everywhere. They aren't dead yet. They are fucking in pain, though. Oh, there are people with, like, their bones fucking almost, like, bent out of their body and shit. They're fucking hurting. And, to be quite honest, he's finally had enough, so he asked for a pistol and shot all 4 of them in the head. Basically giving Izuku currency to do whatever you want, and basically 1 favor. He's like, oh shit, this is fucking handy, okay. So, what he ends up doing is basically making sure that no one in either one of those houses, i.e. the cars or the other dude's house, would snitch. And what he basically does, he now technically owns the car's house, because after, you know, everything was said and done, and the car's manor, the car manor was kind of vacant. So Izuku said, fuck it, I need an embassy. So, basically in one night, well, in one entire day, he found out the people who were fucking enslaving people and just fucked up an entire slave ring in a single day. Like, Izuku doesn't know where the slaves are, but he has an idea. Yeah, that they're probably in small caches. Before he did kill Car, though, he made sure she was tortured, and she told him where the actual caches were, however. And basically, Izuku broke her mind to the point where she wanted to sign everything away to Izuku and would be finally allowed to die. Nah, you think this is like a fucking kid's shit? No. Like, I want to say 3rd episode, I had Izuku genocide an entire village of people with his mother and family friends in it. Yeah. If you thought this shit was meant for kiddie, no. No, leave if you're fucking children. I don't want you here. But, regardless, it is how it is. After this moment, Izuku has realized that when he got back home basically after the first night, because it took like a solid week to break Miss Cars in the fashion that Izuku broke her. Well, he didn't do it himself. He had torturers for that. He has torturers for that. They used to be slavers, so... But yeah, no, in all reality, Izuku has this was about to be the end of the episode anyway. So, fuck it. I hope all of you enjoyed, and have a nice day.